The Ministry of Education is working with the Directorate of Criminal Investigation to create a database of learners engaging in gross violations at schools following rising cases of arson and indiscipline. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha revealing plans to build a record of learners with cases of discipline, also toyed with the idea of a return of corporal punishment to curb indiscipline. Kay Bade with details.
The last week has seen an increase in fire outbreaks believed to be arson attacks, the latest case being reported at Kituro High School in Baringo, when a second dormitory went up in flames in the wee hours of Thursday morning. It is perhaps the return of arson cases in school that has seen the Ministry of Education opt to take action and identify the culprits. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha, who was in Kisii, revealed the government was in the process of consolidating the list of learners with indiscipline cases.
We are in communication now with the Director of Criminal Investigation to ensure that we will, if we suspect, go to a school at random and do blood tests of the children. And if we find that they are under substance abuse, action will be taken so that we don't have to wait until we do other things that will affect other children.
At the same time, Magoha hinted at the possibility of introducing stiffer measures to curb indiscipline, challenging parents and teachers to be more proactive to tame indiscipline.
If you are to ask my very frank opinion, maybe I'm living in the past, but I hope that in future, capital punishment will be reintroduced back in schools as long as it is properly used. For the female child, you shall use the hand, extended hand. For the boy child, the very well formed backside. And the stick to be used should be standardized so that the child can, the idea is to inflict a bit of pain so that the child can know this one is a no-go.
At the same time, he revealed plans to conduct spot checks in schools to curb the problem of drug abuse, even as he ordered for the immediate confiscation of sanitizers from learners.
The head teachers to inspect the children, and any child found with this must be confiscated immediately because they are not responsible enough. But this must be confiscated from the children because they can use it for two things. One, to start fires. Two, to get intoxicated and do other things.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education says it has disbursed funds for the construction and repair of school infrastructure, among other procurement needs. So far, it has released 2,000 shillings per student from the 5,000 shillings allocation for financing school projects. Elsewhere, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers (KUPPET) wants the government to provide security training for teachers deployed in volatile regions and arm them with guns.
We are repeating this demand that in the pockets of insecurity, teachers must be trained and provided with guns, because you cannot confront a gunman with a chalk.
Acting KUPPET Secretary General Moses Thuruma said arming teachers with guns will not only scare away attackers, but will also give the tutors confidence to work in the high-risk areas.
When you take a teacher to insecurity-prone areas, that teacher will constantly live in fear. But if the gun is hanging on his back, even the bandit will know that that guy is no go zone. And they will take the second thought before they make mistakes.
For Channel 1 News, I am Emily Kay Bade.